Hey, it's B-Rad Celebrity Hairstylist here, your host of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast. Thank you for joining us on today's show. We're currently at 52,000. Thank you to all of you. We're on 40 plus podcast platforms, including Amazon Music and Audible. Today's guest is known for her Fierce Financials course that teaches women financial independence and how to feel confident about their money and their future. With over 35 years of experience in the beauty industry, she's an expert at supporting others to become organized and financially literate. She also has her new training, the Moola method, which we'll be talking about today. So I want to say thank you, Donna, and welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background.
Okay, thanks, Brad. Thanks for having me. My name is Donna ROGGIO, and I have been in the beauty industry, like Brad said, for over 35 years. It's a really long time. I owned a salon for 19 years. I had 3 of them, not all at the same time, but consecutively. And I sold my salon about 5 years ago. I started coaching as well in 2011. And now this is my passion project, is to help women and salon owners and stylists around their money. You know, like you said, the Fierce Financials, of course, understanding their money. And this year I launched another program called Moola Method.
That's amazing. So going back a few years, when was your turning point that you knew you wanted to be involved and be part of the beauty industry?
Oh, that was like 13 years old. That was like 13 years old because my mom used to send me to the hairdresser around the corner, you know, that you walk to and you can see my curls, but I didn't have curls then. I had a Q-tip then.
Oh.
Yeah, literally, literally like just a Q-tip.
Yes.
So I decided that I was going to go to hair school and learn how to cut my own hair. So I didn't walk around looking like a Q-tip.
Oh, that's amazing. And then being in the beauty industry, when did your focus change to financials and helping other women or salon owners gain financial independence?
That was, I mean, it was straight away. I mean, I do like being a hairdresser. I love doing the craft of hair, but my natural pull has always been geared towards the business, even since I'm 15. When I was 15, I had a great mentor as an owner of the salon, and I would sit at night and do payroll with him. And so I like went right into the business side of it as well as the artistic side of it.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Being a creative person or being an owner, numbers aren't the number one priority on most people's
I
lists.
know.
They want to be creative. They want to try to run a business, but try to be creative. But as I say, even day to day numbers, they don't even know. But something you have is the Freedom Tribe. So what is the Freedom Tribe and how did it start?
Well, no, I wouldn't say it's necessarily an all happy story, even though it's a happy ending in a way.
Mhm.
But the Freedom Tribe happened because my friend Oscar Valencia had a group called the Smart Group.
Mhm.
And I was friends with him, and he would have me on the group quite often. And when he passed, I communicated and connected with the group. I finished out his season, and then they said, you have to keep it going. So that's kind of how Freedom Tribe started. It wasn't necessarily
Wow.
on my radar, but
Mhm.
now we've been doing it for a year and a half, and we have 2 calls monthly. One of them in which I bring speakers on, and then the other one I do a focus session so that they can learn something like spot on and take it right into action after we get off the call.
Wow, that's amazing. I do remember Oscar, and it is a sad loss because he was so great for our
Industry.
community. But
Yeah.
something else you have. So what and who or whom is a badass beauty business babe?
Badass beauty business babes. You know, I've gotten feedback like that name is so harsh. And I'm like, we are badass. We're badass. We get up every day, stand for 10, 12 hours behind the chair.
Yeah.
We change our, not our personality, but we have to fluctuate and give customer service all day long. We're in somebody's personal space. We are badasses. In our
Hmm.
profession, we are a badass. So it's not in a bad way. It's in a good way. But this was a group that I formed on Facebook to be able to, I know there's a lot of resources out there for the technical side of our industry, but there's not a whole lot of resources out there just to give you business information. So whether it's
Mm.
numbers, exit strategy, onboarding, it's a lot of those processes that go behind things, benchmarks and understanding, not just the creative side of the industry. So that's what we
Exactly. And I think for a lot of people, calling themselves a badass is a tough thing because I think a lot of us lack confidence in our skills, in our training, in our background, or we don't think we're good enough. But there's educators out there like yourself that come and teach people the basic skills they need, or the advanced skills they need, or how to put numbers together, or how to be a badass, or, as I say, we'll get the online link at the end, so people, if they're looking to join, they can join that group. But something now that you shifted to, so with your new training, the Moola method, would you tell us what that's about?
Sure. Can I go back to the group for a second?
You sure can.
I think they are badasses. I just have to say that. I think that anybody that gets into this profession is a badass, but the insecurity and the fear get in the way sometimes. So that's what the support is for, but they're still badass. We're all badass.
Exactly. So badasses rock.
Yeah, badasses rock. All right. So the Moola method, we did this in my salon, and I didn't have a title for it, because it was just a process that we did in the salon. But I see this thing where, in doing my coaching, that both salon owners struggle with and the stylists struggle with charging prices. And this year I saw the biggest trend. Of course, I'm, active in the industry and seeing what's going on. And the biggest trend that I saw this year was about raising prices. And it's raising prices like $1, $2, $3. And everybody's in a panic. How do we do it? Is it on the desk? Do we send out an email? Oh, I can't do this. Jane, I've been doing her for 10 years. She's going to have a heart attack. It's like, this is like this, is like this. And I never had this problem. And I'm like, what is the difference between what I did for 19 years and all the salons that are struggling right now? And I changed, I wouldn't say I change my prices all the time, but they adjusted accordingly. You have to. It's part of the financial end of your business and your profit. So I basically am teaching the stylists how to communicate with their clients so that they don't even feel like there's a shift, or they're talking about price, or they're salesy. They still get to be creative and give them all the ideas, but the outcome is different. The client doesn't have sticker shock, and the client pays for everything that they got done. And it's like, wow, big light bulb. Like, you're actually going to get paid for all your services.
And I think that's a big thing too, because I think we as stylists or salon owners, we're doing a disservice for ourselves if we're not adjusting our prices, because we get charged, our supplies go up, our delivery costs go up, our heat, our hydro, our rent, our, all our normal running daily business is always, increasing. So if we're not charging for that, it's coming out of our own pockets. So what I used to do with my salon, I would let them know 3 months before, but I never lost anybody. And like you said, if it's only $1, $2, or $3, that's very low compared to, as I say, I'm going to raise my cost $20 on your haircut. People might freak out, sort of thing, but as long as they know ahead of time, but you also know your skill level. You also know what your price points are in your salon, what prices you need to charge in order to cover your expenses. And I think that's where you come in, because I think a lot of people don't know, number one, what their expenses are, where their money's going. and a lot of people believe that everything we put in our till goes directly in our pocket. And as a salon owner, that's not true. So do you kind of want to speak on that a little bit?
Sure. Well, so the philosophy and the concept behind the Moola method is, there is a difference if you're charging a difference of $20 for a haircut. Okay, this is dramatic in the way of a different price point, but in the method and doing the concept behind the method, it's actually more about communication. So it's giving the stylist or service provider the opportunity and the tools to be able to communicate with the client and giving them the options, versus even talking about, as an example, the technique, like we're foiling your hair today and stuff like this. It's more of a way of communication that brings together and bridges that gap between what the stylist sees as being an option for that client, or multiple options for that client, and then the client choosing what they want. And there's a price associated with either, but it's taken away from, it's kind of like a revolution in our industry. We're so used to saying, I'm going to foil your hair, I'm going to balayage your hair. We get into the trends of what's out there in this kind of a world. And it's actually a shift in the way that we even communicate with our clients, even our menu, the way that the receptionist answers the phone, it's just different. And this is the revolution that's needed. And so that we don't get stuck in this, like, oh, your touch up went up $2. It's about the way that we communicate. So it's kind of like double-sided, the back end and the front end of it, because a salon owner needs to be organized with what their expenses are, right? They need to know where they are so that they can do this properly.
And that's exactly it. Communication is the big thing. And because people say, I'm just booking for a foil, that's it, they don't know. But I think this hairstylist should communicate and break it down and say, this is what we need. This is how many foils we're using. We're also going to do a root touch up, or we're also going to do a glaze or a toner or whatever. So whether you include it or whether you don't, I think the client should be informed to know what the breakdown of your service is. And I think then they'll kind of understand a little bit better with the pricing. Because a lot of people assume if they book a highlight that your toner is included, your cut is included, your blow dry is included, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, I actually take it to a whole nother level than that. So you don't even have to say all those words. It's even easier than that.
Wow. I love you, Donna Raggio. So what I've seen pictures of you teaching the Moola method. Ah. So what has been your participants' reaction to your class?
Well, it's funny because, when you go over, I like to inquire. I like to kind of see where the audience is when I start something. And this is always the most interesting part for me, because when you go around and you say, okay, how many of you have raised your price in the last year? How many of you have had a redo? How many of you have had a client with sticker shock at the front desk? How many of you have had this? It's like this, and it's like this, and it's like this, and then, it's going around. So but the result is great. I mean, the people that are adopting it and trying it, and they're reaching back to me and saying, no, this actually works. It feels weird in the beginning because it's totally different than what we've done in the past, but I'm getting better at it and I'm utilizing it. And, the revenue increases 30%. How do you complain about an increase in revenue 30%? And you're not doing more services. You're doing what you did, just you're communicating it in a different way.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And who's going to say no to 30%? Yes, it may be a little bit about getting out of your comfort zone or challenging yourself a little bit, but for that 30% and not having to add extra clients or extra service, I think is totally amazing. So you'll be teaching the Moola method on the Mayan Soul Beauty Industry Cruise, May 7th to 12th, 2023. How exciting is that? And what are the benefits of those taking the class at sea?
Those taking the class at sea, I mean, they have the tools right off the bat. I mean, I give out so much information right on the spot that they can just take it back into action. Of course, like you were saying, it's a little bit of practice there. As for the cruise, I think that this is an amazing opportunity for, from just doing the last couple events that I did and really having that connection with people again. I mean, you get elated when you're around people. Zoom is great. I love it. I use it. I live in Ibiza. It's wonderful for doing coaching, but there's something to be said for, like, I can touch your arm. I can give you a hug. Hello. You can really ask me a question. Like, after the show, we're connected. We're like permanently bonded, and our industry is full of love. We just connect really quick, and I'm really looking forward to that part of it. And I like that it's so intimate. I think this is
and that's the biggest thing, is connection. And like you say, you live somewhere that's very scenic, but anytime you travel, it's going to open up your mind. You're going to feel different. It puts you into a different place. And like you said, we're going to have that connection. We're going to have the up close and personal. So people will not only see you educating on stage, but if they have classes, they want to know more, if they want to sign up for your program, you're right there for them, sort of thing. So I'll talk a little bit. So you can join us on the Mayan Beauty Industry Cruise, May 7th to 12th, 2023. Learn and have fun with A-list celebrities, beauty industry professionals on Sir Richard Branson's super yacht. So it's not even a ship, it's a super yacht called Scarlet Lady. Tickets are available now at www.beautyindustrycruises.com. We'll see you there. So remember, the deadline to get on is December 30th, 2022. So you got to get your tickets, get your cabin booked by the end of this year. And then we'll see you at sea. So something else that you do once a year, I believe, is a retreat. So you talk about connection. Can you talk about your retreat a little bit? And if you have a date for one coming up and where people can go to find it.
Yeah. So I did it in September here on the island, here in Ibiza. And I have to say, it was one of my highlights of my life, and the ladies as well. We had such a good time. I don't even know if I can call it a retreat for the next time, because it was just like, I don't know what to call it. It was just amazing. I mean, they were so game for everything that we did.
Yeah.
And I would say, this is our agenda, but we can fit in dancing tonight if you want to fit in dancing. And they were like, we're And
Yeah.
we just went for 9 days straight. We just
Yeah.
went, we ate good, we got in nature, we got in the sea, we did activities. It was wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. And I do want to have it. I actually want to have 3 set ones a year. And then I want to do private ones that are booked as well. So like if a salon wanted to come and bring their team and even do a shorter one for them to have a connection again. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience, all of us together.
Yeah, and that's amazing, as I say, for salons to come, for team building. But to say it's, I think it's, people have to be open and they have to be accepting and they have to be, allow themselves to be totally immersed in the experience. And I think that's how you get the most out of anything. Like you said, you can't put a name on it. It's not like a retreat because every experience is going to be different. Even if you took the same group of women a year later, it's going to be different because all those women now are transformed and they're a different place in their life, you know, as well. They're going to bring different things. They're going to get different things out of it and doing more. Cause I think more of these type things are what people want. People want connections. People want to now kind of dig a little bit deeper into themselves. They want to bring things out of themselves, let's say like being a badass, that if they've never been one before, now they can say, woohoo, we're going to go dancing tonight, where maybe at home they wouldn't have. They're like, oh, it's 7 o'clock. I'm gonna start to wind down for the evening, because they're in a different environment and because, you know, maybe the flamenco guitar is playing and the drums are going and the music is on, and they can just be, I think, themselves, because then they're not somebody's parent, they're not somebody's spouse, they're not somebody's, you know, whatever. They can just be themselves in that kind of environment. Would you agree?
Yeah, one of the things that I think was the coolest part, and I think this will happen on the Mayan cruise too, when somebody shows up for a vacation that's already planned for them, you can just relax. I mean, the ladies just came and they were like, it was like, just drop down. Like, I'm here and I'm present. And this is really beautiful because, you know, going on the cruise, their food is planned for them, the activities, all they have to do is choose, like, I want to go, I don't want to go. I want to go, I don't want to go. I'm interested, I'm free. But taking that pressure off of like deciding where to go, mapping things out,
Yes.
buying tickets for things and all that, for that not to have to be in the way of anything. How do you not shut down? How do you just not like fall into it? It's a beautiful experience.
Exactly. And their journeys are own. So anybody who comes, as I say, we're all adults. If there's something you want to see, you go see it. Something you don't want to see, you see it. If you want to eat on your own, you can. If you want to eat as a group, you can. The great thing is once you buy your ticket, basically everything is included, right? So your tips are included, your non-alcoholic beverages are included, your gratuities, your Wi-Fi. If you want to do exercise classes like bungee or meditation or yoga or you know, any of that kind of stuff, it's all included. All your entertainment is included. All your 20+ specialty eateries are all included. So you don't have to worry about, I only get one buffet and 2 specialty restaurants and that it. You're free to go to all of them. And they have experiences with their dining. They have Korean barbecue where you sit with 5 other strangers. So it's a great way to go on the first night that you don't know, and you get a free round of soju. So if you drink, you get a free round of soju. So you like get to know each other kind of games. So it's a great way for a group that wants to come together, 3 couples or 6 people, or if you want to just go and meet some new people on the yacht, that's a great way to do it. Plus, any kind of, I mean, you can eat 24 hours, you can drink 24 hours. The only extra you really pay is if you drink alcohol or you like specialty coffees or pressed juices. That's basically all you pay for, or souvenirs, but everything else is included in your experience.
I just want to share, I want to add something to that because this is beautiful. You know, I think a lot of people when they go on vacation, some people travel solo, absolutely. But one of the reasons I did the retreat, and I think that the cruise is also a perfect example of this, you don't have to go with someone. You can go alone and find your way because you're with like-minded people in the same industry. It's super easy to make friends in our industry, right? Because we're also open around this. So I think this is a great experience that even if your salon doesn't want to go and you can't get a friend to join with you, it's something that you can absolutely go alone. And if you can't find a friend, come and find me and I'll be your friend, because it's a great experience to meet new people like this. It really empowers you. And I watched all the ladies on my retreat. I mean, they just sent me a picture the other day. They met in the US and went to lunch together.
Wow.
I mean,
Well, the same. Even you met, because they say like offline, you met with Francesca, you met with Joe, you met with, like, as I say, and that's the thing. A lot of us kind of know each other somewhat from social media, but haven't met in person. So we may be Facebook friends, but we haven't met in person. But that's a great way. And like Donna says, if you want your own personal experience, if you want to, go to the Mayan ruins yourself, you can. If you want to go to Richard's private beach club, which your food is included there too, and your bar tab is good there too, so you don't have to worry about paying any extra. It's a great way to, as I say, maybe if you're someone shy, I think that's a great way. Like you said, these group of ladies bonded, now that we'll be friends for life. These are now people from around the world that you would never expect. Like, we have people from the UK, we have people from Canada, we have people from Denmark, we have people from Germany, we have people from the US that are all coming. So where else are you going to see? And a lot of times we would probably walk up and down the sidewalk and not even speak to each other. But once you kind of go to an event like this, then you're like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? And give the support. And you say, we have the Wilsons, who are incredible, which I've done a podcast with them. As I say, we have like Taylor Jameson, we have Albie McCahey, we have there's so many names. So we have almost 20 educators. We have 2 full days of education. As I say, we're all adults. If it's something you want to see, you come and see it. If you don't want to see it, you don't have to. The experience is your own. I would suggest embrace everything, because, as I say, and Donna's teaching the Moola method. So if you hate numbers, you should probably come, because she said it's easy. So you heard it on the show. She said it's easy. So it's easy to get your financial life together. Wouldn't that be a benefit to you, to increase your revenue by 30% with basically doing next to nothing? I think so.
I
so
do
so
too.
so if people wanted to find you, Donna, where can everyone find you online?
I'm on everything. They can look at my website, which is donnaroggio.com, but I have a personal Facebook and a business Facebook. I'm more active on my personal because I'm a person and I like to keep it real. So I put my business stuff and my personal stuff on my person. And then I have my business one too, which is Donna Roggio, business coach or beauty business coach. But I actually prefer all my personal channels, my personal channel for Instagram, my personal channel for Facebook. And then if you want to learn about me, reach out to me. I'll set up a chat. We'll meet each other. I think that's a great way to meet instead
Yeah.
of messaging back and forth. I like to meet people.
Exactly. So by putting stuff on your personal, is that kind of a reflection that you're showing that you're a real person and you want to connect, as opposed to an impersonal business?
Yeah, the one thing I struggle with all the time, I don't like marketing. I like to just meet people. And I think that relationships happen and connections happen because you have a connection with somebody. And, coming up with all the strategy behind making, Canva posts and things that all look ordinary, that are all over and we're inundated with. I think that there's a natural pull to different people. And when somebody has that natural pull to me, I mean, this is how I met Oscar, from a natural pull that I had sent
Yes.
out something and he reached out and he was like a fast best friend for months
Yeah.
and months. It's amazing.
And it's amazing how easy, and if people haven't tried it, it's amazing how easy you can reach out and connect with people.
I
Like,
connected
it's
with you like
really
this.
easy. It's really easy, because everybody said, oh, well, they're this big person way up here, they're not going to talk to me. So if they don't, so what? You send them a message, they don't reply, they're lost. But the great way is, I think, and Donna is one of the great people, who is one of the great connectors. She
I
knows
know.
the people, she knows how to connect the people, she knows who would be suited. You know what I mean? She's a wealth of information. I know we're wrapping up, but we may have to have a part 2, because this woman is so incredible to talk to, which I've been talking to for the last, I don't know how many months, probably almost a year. We've been we've been talking, and she'll, hit me up and say, hey, let's chat. And that's all it is. Let's chat. Doesn't want anything, doesn't, just let's chat. And that's the best way. And one of the nice things with this experience, and I've been doing this for 7 years, with this cruise thing, is me being the person. I've met every single person. I know everybody that's coming on the cruise. I know all the educators. I know everybody that works on Scarlet Lady, and I know everybody at Virgin Voyages. So once I go on, I'm the only person that knows every single person. And obviously, too, any questions, always reach out, things like that. But Donna, as we close, and I keep saying this, is there anything that you would like to mention that I haven't asked you during this podcast?
Oh, I just wanted to have a normal conversation, sharing inspiration, getting people to come and join us on the cruise. Because
Yeah,
that's the best part, you know?
exactly. And you have a bit.ly link, so we'll make sure that it goes below this video or around. So use Donna's link. And then that way, that just gives me an idea to see where everybody's coming from and that sort of thing. So what would be a nugget of gold that you would like to leave our audience?
Oh, nugget of gold to leave the audience. I think it's being open-minded enough to reframe the way that what we've done in the past isn't necessarily going to work for the future in the way that we communicate with our clients. And it's time that we shift and learn how to communicate in a different way. I
That,
think that, and there's a ton of resources out there from public speaking, customer service, client experience. You know, this needs to be a focus, not just on our technical skills for this year. I mean, we're different. We're all different.
yeah, and that's amazing. I mean, communication is important, connection is important. Working on, like you said, your soft skills is important. It's not working on all the other stuff. Sometimes it's those little simple things and those little tweaks that make such an important change for everybody. And who doesn't want change? Probably the most resistant don't want change. But then that's when I would say challenge yourself. Go to retreats, go to classes, go to hair shows, go, if there's something you don't know, get training on it. Because, as I say, if you're not big on finances, Donna knows finances, so make sure you connect with her. If you have any questions, I'm sure she's more than happy to connect with you or connect you with the right program, that sort of thing, and get you on your journey to financial freedom, financial stability. And that's a big thing I think that people are looking at, is to have a life where they're financially secure, that they don't have to worry about tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a whole other part too. I can get into that. But the
Exactly.
Moola
And that's
method
why
is
we
a
didn't
lot
talk a lot
of
about
fun.
numbers today, but you were also on Tracy Napotnick's podcast as well, which I want to give a shout out to salontraining.com. And you talk amazing about numbers, about all that kind of stuff. So be sure to check that out. And we're also both doing a show about 10 days before the cruise. Are you on Tracy's or not?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm doing the Pennsylvania show. What do you mean?
That's it.
Oh
So
yeah,
we're
yeah.
both on the, I think everybody almost that's on the cruise is in Pennsylvania
Oh,
the
cool.
week before. So we're going to get to pre-meet
Oh,
before we even get on. You
and
got
I think I'm going to Florida to Elaine's as well in between it.
really?
Yes.
Wow. So
It's gonna be
that's
a
the
month of
thing. That's the
adventure.
thing you were teaching Moola method at. We'll give
Mhm.
a shout out to Elaine too, because Elaine is amazing. And the education, the free education that she offers with her mentorship. So can you tell a little bit about her event? Just quickly. I know it's already over, but she did the beauty at the beach. Is that what she did?
She did the beauty at the beach at St. Petersburg, and she does two or three retreats a year. And Tracy and hers are the same time. So
Oh no.
I'm going to do Tracy's, in Pennsylvania
Yep.
on Monday morning, and then fly out Monday night and do with Elaine on Tuesday morning.
Wow. And then you got the cruise to relax and
And then I have like a week
decompress.
and a half in between. Maybe get an Airbnb in Florida so I
Yeah,
don't come
it's
all the
just,
way
well,
back.
it's just nonstop. And that's what I'm thinking. Should I fly down, go all the way back, come all the
Exactly.
way down, or should I just stay up there and, hang with some people? And
Yeah, it sounds like
I'll have to figure it out.
you're going to be happy
Like
too.
that kind of stuff. So I want to say thank you, Donna, for joining us, and we'll be able to see everyone on our next show next time. Okay.
Ciao. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Brad.